This Jersey girl has no filter.
So are you getting a lot of hate?
Yeah, a lot of hate.
Bullshit. No.
Welcome to BS with Bella. Hi, welcome back to another episode of BS with Bella, and I'm with Rondell Bothroyd. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you? And thank you for having me.
So how did you start getting into the journey of playing the game?
I started when I was really young though, like 6 or 7. And I was just big. So my mom threw me in football.
She didn't put you in basketball, you were going straight into football.
Yeah. I tried soccer for a little bit, but it was too much running for me.
And what inspired you to stay with the sport? You know, at being at a young age, you could dabble in other sports, but what made you stay playing football?
I liked basketball a lot more going in high school, but then I stopped growing. So I started playing football, and it really wasn't like college football wasn't really like in my sight. Like I was thinking I was gonna have to pay for it.
Yeah.
'Cause I didn't really know how, or I knew how hard it was to get into college. So I played, I loved my friends and all that. So it ended up working out for me.
And what were your offers in high school? Did you have any, or were you a
Yeah.
walk-on at first?
It was my first offer was UConn because I'm from Connecticut.
Okay.
And then just a bunch of I committed to Temple, and then I had like Rutgers and Syracuse and schools like that, and then a couple like littler ones. But it was like where I'm from, that was not really heard of. So getting recruited wasn't the biggest thing.
And how was your experience at Wake Forest? I know you were there for a little bit and you ended up at OU, but
Right.
how would you describe your experience within that football program than OU?
It was cool. Met a lot of people like lifelong friends. It was a really small school, so it was
Mhm.
private, and it was like 6,000, I think. So it kind of felt like high school.
Yeah.
Like you knew everybody, you saw everybody the same, like all the same people every day. But my class, we kind of worked up to getting pretty good at Wake.
Mhm.
We went to the ACE championship. So we kind of felt like we kind of built stuff from the ground up. And that was cool to feel and see from the outside after I left too.
And how did you decide to end up at OU?
It was I think because I graduated from Wake,
Mhm.
and I felt like I needed a bigger market. I would say bigger and whatever kind of football, just to go to the next level if I wanted to. And I had 1 year left, and I knew NIL was possible. So I said I might as well just use this extra year because NFL is not guaranteed. And I see how much money I can try to get from this NIL thing, and then Oklahoma came along, and it was pretty hard to say no to Oklahoma.
Yeah, I mean, compared to, it's a different ball game for sure.
Yeah.
Reflecting on your time at OU, what were some highlights and challenges that you faced as a football player there?
I think challenges would be just getting there. I was nervous. I'm not the most outspoken guy, so I guess just feeling like you fit in or not when you get there. And then the guys there made it pretty easy. So I feel like highlights would be just the guys I met there, the coaches.
Mhm.
It kind of felt like I was there for 4 years.
Oh, wow. So it felt like a second home really quickly for you.
Yeah, it felt really really homey, really quick, which I love. And then it's hard to beat the sold out crowds every game.
Yeah, they got a huge fan base.
Yeah.
Are there any moments that stood out for you playing at OU?
Uh, I mean, Texas was just out of body.
Yeah.
Hard to explain. And then we had the bye week after, so that was pretty crazy. Um, I think just every home game, just running out and seeing not an empty seat in the place, because I never really had that at Wake. Maybe a few games, and then it's 80,000+ people. So,
Yeah,
but I
so
think Texas
from
game,
a small stadium to a big stadium, a few people going to games, but then a sold out stadium every home game.
yeah, it was crazy.
How did you handle pressure situations at OU compared to Wake Forest? Like you said, you went from a game to having a few people in the stands to sold out. How did you handle that pressure?
Yeah, I don't think it made a difference really, because I when I'm playing, you don't really see the crowd. Like it's more, what's my job? Like what's my assignment?
Yeah.
What do I have to do here? But it's definitely cool hearing the louder crowd, and then you kind of feel pressure with that. But that's more of I feel like that's more of an offensive thing,
Yeah.
because you have to score or whatever. But yeah, I feel like I've never really felt pressure from the crowd. I've always felt it from my coaches and myself to perform well for my teammates.
What factors influence you to declare for the NFL draft?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any more eligibility, so
Yeah.
that would be like a big start. But I think it's just time. Like I'm getting older, and it's hard to get drafted or get picked up from anybody when you're that old. They don't love the older guys, but
Yeah.
you always have a chance. And really, like I never really saw it. Um, just like I never really saw myself getting scholarships.
Yeah.
I got to college and I was like, this is cool. And I like NFL was always it would be a dream, but I was like, yeah, this is cool for now. And I got a good degree because I knew football wasn't always guaranteed. And then I started playing pretty well, and you hear from like scouts and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
How are you
Um,
preparing yourself, like mentally and physically? Because it is like a big
yeah,
decision.
yeah, it's tough. I think it's Monday through right now. I'm in Florida training. It's Monday through Saturday, like 8:30 to 4 every day, kind of.
Mhm.
Um, get a little bit of break here and there, but it's tough. It's really you're really just working on your speed in your 40s, and I think it's a little less football, which isn't bad.
Yeah.
And then mentally, I would say just knowing you have a foot in the door and an opportunity, it's like can't really waste it.
Can you touch base kind of like if people don't know the process? Like once you decided to declare for the NFL draft, like
Yeah.
I know some other people are training like in Texas in different areas. Like, do you get to pick where you train?
You can pick where you train. My agent knows like or would prefer to like different places just because she's been doing it for 20 years, so she knows the
Yeah.
ins and outs kind of. So yeah, you can sort of pick, but if your agent recommends a place, you're better off going with those places.
Okay.
And then depending on your agent, it really depends like how much it is or how much you pay for, how much you pay back. Um, but yeah, it depends on your agent and where you really want to go.
What aspects are you focusing on your skill level to like show these scouts that like you have what it takes to play in the NFL?
I think I would say just being more explosive. So that's like a big goal of mine to just look more explosive when I'm doing the drills at the pro day, run a good time. Because I played a lot of football, so I feel like I can't do anything about that now. So now I just have to test well.
Yeah.
But I would say like if I got a chance to play, I would want to be a better pass rusher and just be a little more explosive.
Are you training outside of like trying out, I guess, for the NFL draft, or are you kind of just like waking up, they have you from day in and day out type of thing?
Yeah, it's literally almost 7 days a week, all day. It's literally just training for the pro day because you get one shot. You get one day, one shot for kind of the rest of to set up the rest of your life or not.
If you were, drafted, what would be like a dream team you would love to go on?
A dream team I've always said was New England Patriots,
Okay.
just because my family, I'm from up there, so my
Mhm.
family come to every game, and it'd be really cool to see. But I really don't care. Any team that would like take a chance on me, I don't
Yeah,
really.
take a chance.
Yeah,
Are you training with any other OU players in Florida? Or are you training with people that you used to play against? Is it like kind of like common faces, or is it completely like you have no idea who any of these people are?
there's some people I played against, and then there's one of my old teammates. I wasn't with him for long at OU because he transferred.
Okay.
Jaden's down here, but yeah, it's a lot of new faces, a lot of guys that like maybe you played or like they transferred right before you got there. So it's a lot of stuff to talk about. Guys, you all have a like common goal, so it's pretty cool.
So outside of football, like you said, football is not a guaranteed. What are your like interests and hobbies, and what did you go to school for?
I'll say interests and hobbies. I love like a good TV show, movie, TV show. Um, I play the game, but I've been trying not to do that as much.
Yeah.
I think I might, I think I might try to learn a language just because I have nothing to do when I get home. So maybe like
Yeah.
Spanish or something. But most of the time, I just get in bed because it's a long day, and I
Yeah.
just sit back, watch a movie. I
Or
majored in health and exercise science,
oh, cool.
and I got a minor in education. So, like when I was thinking that football wasn't after college,
Yeah.
I've always loved just the human body and stuff like that. So PT or PA school was like kind of in my mind, and
Yeah.
then I got the education minor to like I would teach if I got it comfortable with the money side, I would teach and do something like that, coach and teach.
What advice would you give young athletes aspiring to play college football, or were nervous about transferring, or now thinking about going into the draft?
I would say, well, first off, you would have to love it. If you don't love it, it's really tough. Like if you don't have every foot all your heart in, it's hard to stay committed, and because there's a lot of work. And then I would say just trust your coaches. A lot of these coaches have your best interest, and like if they don't, they get fired for the most part if they don't do their job.
Mhm.
And then lastly, I would say I needed to work on it, but I would just say like keep your family close. If you're far away, try to call them more than you do. Yeah, I think that would be it.
And are you still in touch with a lot of OU football players from, like graduating, leaving, and even old
Yeah,
teams from Wake Forest?
yeah. A lot of them. Some of them in the NFL. Some of them just like on Snapchat group chats and all that, and then just updates and stuff, asking other guys how their prep is going and all that.
Have you ever reached out to any prior like icons, you could say, that have like reached their goal of being in the NFL? Have you reached out for their advice, or you're kind of just going in like solo on a mission?
Yeah, I haven't really reached out. I know a lot of guys have helped, like gave me some advice, but I'm not good at reaching out. I've kind of just gone with the flow.
Kind of just on a solo mission. I mean, that's how you learn the most.
Right. Of
Well, thank you so much for coming on my podcast. I really appreciate it.
course, thank you.
And I'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Perfect.
This Jersey girl has no filter.
So are you getting a lot of hate?
Yeah, a lot of hate.
Bullshit.